Greetings and welcome to Stunthangar Video Hangouts. My name is Charles Carter and I'll be your host this evening. I want to extend to you my gratitude for you watching Stunthangar Video Hangouts. If you are watching this as a replay, I want you to know that I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please make a note of this so you can watch or be part of the live stream. Plus, we have an after party following the live stream, which is sometimes better than the live stream portion. You must be a registered Stunthangar Forum member to find the link to be part of the live stream and the following after party. Here at Stunthangar Video Hangouts, we talk about building and flying model airplanes, sport flying, competition flying, and what you've been doing lately. To join our conversation, if you are already a member of Stunthangar Forum, you can find the link if you scroll down to the section called At the Bench. If you are not a member or not logged into Stunthangar Forum, the At the Bench link will not appear. If you're not a member, please register at stunthangar.com/SMF. That's stunthangar.com/SMF. That's Smart Men Flying. You must place a space between your real first and last name when you register. You must also use a valid email address or Sparky. The proprietor of Stunthangar will not approve you. If you're inclined to not come in, just enjoy watching us on YouTube, wonderful, fantastic. Please enter your questions or comments in the chat box, and I'll do my best to make your comments a part of the show. Now, understand, sometimes I can't get a word in myself, so be patient, and I will ask our illustrious panel your question or state your comments. By the way, you only can make comments or ask questions during a live stream. So like I said, I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening, starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you find Stunthangar Video Hangouts that I host, or the many building and flying competition coverage at John's Garage shop that Sparky does on this platform enjoyable and informative, please give us a thumbs up. Subscribe, and when you subscribe, select the notification bell and select all so that whether myself or Sparky comes on, you will be notified. Share the videos. Comments also help the Stunthangar YouTube channel grow. Please consider joining Stunthangar's YouTube channel memberships, which start at just $4.99 a month, which is less than 17 cents a day. And you can also use the super chat, which is located at the bottom of the chat box. If you're watching us on YouTube, there's a big dollar sign there. You can click on that and you can make donations. Now, you only can do that during a live stream. That goes away on the replays. So like I said, every Monday and Friday, tune in, come on in, donate to the super chat. And if that's what your more preference to do, is do it that way, as opposed to the YouTube memberships, do that. And then if it's not convenient to stay and watch the whole program, come back and watch the replay at a later time. Now, your support helps offset some of the expenses of running Stunthangar. With your memberships, you'll get special badges that we can see in the YouTube chat box. There's a special icon or emoji that Sparky and I imagine even John can tell that the paid patrons from the other ones. And you'll get that. Plus, you get unlimited replay of member-only videos. And once a month, Sparky has a question and answer show for members only. This is Sparky's YouTube channel. I'm in here just twice a week. So if you want to get in touch with me, go to my YouTube channel, which is called Flying Control Line Stunt. Flying Control Line Stunt. All the letters are there. You have to repeat it. And place your comment or question on the 2019 AMA National Championship video, which Sparky shot with his camera of me flying his beautiful Junar XL. And that is a beautiful flying plane, extremely light for its size. It's a big plane. And at that time, I think it was about 58.5 ounces, extremely light. One of the lightest, biggest planes I've ever flown in my life. Anyways, I want to thank you for your past, your present, and future support. You are making it happen. Please keep the conversations family room friendly. In other words, please don't use words or do things you wouldn't do or say around your own children or grandchildren. And without any further ado, I'm going to post a link now at Stunthangar Forum. Let me do that now. I have like 3 monitors, and it's how I try to keep track of the show. So the link is being posted now. So look for the link with today's date. That's March 14th. And that should bring you right in here. Now, if you're new at this, when you come in, you're gonna have to allow permissions to use the camera and microphone. But speaking of that, if you have any trouble getting into the show, comment on the on my channel, because I'm not in this Sparky's channel only just twice a week. That's about it. So let me see here. I'm going to what I call the control panel so that I can see what's going on. I see Gary Sinclair. He says he's on his way. And let me see here. I'm on my way too, Gary. On my way to the control panel where I can see what's being aired. And let's see here. Okay, we're live. That's good. It's always good for us to be alive, right? Okay, so all right, so we have 10 concurrent viewers and only 4 likes. So if you haven't hit the like button, some people like to smash it, push it, touch it. Whatever your liking is, please do that. That helps the analytics of the program. And like I said, Gary Sinclair said, on my way. Thank you, Gary. Appreciate that. And let me do a little editing here of some of the features of the show. Just be momentarily. I'm waiting for people to come in anyways. So let me do this. I didn't go flying today. I meant to go flying. I am like, can't wait to go flying. Today was a gorgeous day. But life gets in the way of some things we want to do, right? And so I didn't go flying today, but would have loved to report my progress. I am doing a lot of prop testing. I think I mentioned it last time, I'm sure I did, that I'm going to a more traditional engine run. In the past, I've ran my Stalker 81, kind of low RPMs and a lot of pitch, and not really producing the maximum amount of power that engine can produce, probably in the low part of the power band I was utilizing. I was just getting away with it because it has the capability of turning props with significant pitch. I mean, like 9.5-inch pitch is what I was running before. 3-blade, I think it was a 14 3-blade cut down. And it was a 9.5 pitch, and the motor was running around 6,800 RPMs, really slow, but it had the torque, the low end to lift this heavy 80-ounce plane up over the top and down to the other side. And that worked okay. But I want to see how it's going to work when I really utilize the more of the power that's available to me. So I'm going down in pitch, and I'm going to probably lengthen the lines, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with the Strega. Hopefully, I can really bring it to life for as big and heavy as it is. Jack Snavely says, "Hello, all. Our weather is getting better. That is good. I think everyone's weather should be getting better, I guess, depending upon where you're on the globe. But I'm glad to hear that, Jack." And he said, "Had a late snow, all clear now." He has a smiley face emoji. Well, thank you, Jack. I appreciate you coming in, and I never get tired of you texting. So don't ever feel it's unappreciated. I appreciate the texts in the chat box. I appreciate people coming in as well. Come on in, Jack. You've been doing this for such a long time. I believe you usually are getting ready to go to work, so I understand maybe you can't do that. But hopefully someday you have a holiday and it falls on the same day when we are streaming, and you can come on in. That would be wonderful. So anyways, getting back to the props and my Strega, my Stalker. By the way, that Stalker was made in Ukraine. So, my heart is out to those Ukrainian people. And I don't know what's happening with that, but my engine and all that's not as important as human life. So, anyways, so this morning I received a prop. This was a 15-inch by 6-inch prop this morning, and I've already ordered. I just recently ordered today, as a matter of fact, some 15 7-inch props. Like I said, I'm still discovering where the sweet spot is, and I consider props like gears. Kind of like when you're riding a 10-speed bicycle. If you're in the wrong gear, it's not the most optimal way to climb a hill or whatever you're doing. And I see the prop as like a gear. Hey, Howard, how are you doing? Yeah, I see Gary Sinclair is coming in. He's hooking up.
Yep, I'm here.
He's there. Hey, Howard, can you hear me, Howard?
I can hear you.
All right. I said, how you doing?
I'm doing all right.
That's
All
good.
right.
I'm going to try hooking up with the computer also, then I can show some pictures.
Oh, awesome.
That'd be good. Yeah.
Make sure you mute one of them so we don't have any looping.
I'll mute this one. I don't know. I trying this before. The microphone didn't work on the computer, but I'll try. Just carry on, and
I'll carry on.
Hey, Charles.
Hey, Mike Millard, how are you, man?
No.
Snap.
Uh-oh.
I managed to get my fingers in a 4-blade APC, one of which required the reattachment of an extensor tendon.
Whoa. Well, a 4-blade prop. I have not swung a 4-blade prop. I can get out of the way of a 3-blade. I've done that pretty consistently. No problems there. But I have never handled a 4-blade prop. That other prop comes around a lot quicker than I'm accustomed to.
Yeah, I had a 4-blade 10-6 on a Johnson S I picked up with the extension and all that, and my motor mount tipped and right into my fingers.
Ew.
Just trying to read what the TAC was saying.
You said the motor mount tipped?
Yeah, I've got a test stand mount, and my ground around it is not good, and I guess the engine was running a little stronger than I thought. Rocked forward, got me.
Wow.
So needless to say, last week was not a really good week. We wound up spending 3 days in Albuquerque instead of 1 because I was going down for a dermatology appointment. They got me in the next day with the orthopedic surgeon to look at it, and she got me in the next day to reattach that tendon.
Wow, man, I'm so sorry to hear about that.
I'm not going to be doing much for a while.
Did they give you an kind of an expectation of when you have your hands available to you?
I think in about a week and a half, 2 weeks, I get a pin out of the finger, and hopefully by then I can start using them. This one, it got this one and that one. This one, it just nicked it up pretty good. This one, it got the tendon on the tip.
Wow. Wow, I'm so sorry.
These are pretty sharp little, those are sharp ends on that 4-blade APC.
I think all the APC props
wide of a blade.
I think all the APCs are very sharp. I usually take sandpaper and kind of dull that sharp edge on all my APC props, because even just handling it, you can get cut.
Yeah. More or less spinning at 7,000 or however many RPM it was turning.
No kidding, man. Sorry about that. Well, I'm glad. Thanks for coming in.
Live and learn.
Yeah, that probably never happen again. So sometimes the mistakes we make, man, it's like I say, life gives you the test first and the solution second. Yeah. And it's like you learn after life whacks you, and you go, I'll never do that again. Thanks, life. Hey, John, how are you doing?
I wish I'd have learned that. I did it 2 or 3 times.
Some of us are
Hopefully I don't
stubborn.
do it again. I don't need to, that's for sure.
Some of us are hard-headed.
Yeah, that's me.
And then
My
sometimes I-
friend Gordon, my
Go
friend
ahead.
Gordy, you know, he got his hand in a 3-blade carbon fiber,
Ouch.
and it did a bad number on him. He had quite a bit of operation done on it. But on his little pinky finger, they asked him, you know, if he wanted to have the tendons, you know, they were cut. They wanted to have the tendon fixed in there, and he said, "Oh no." And his little pinky finger bends over like that.
all
Yeah.
the time,
There we go.
the whole time.
And
It's always like that.
Yeah, and it's always in his way. You know, now he wishes he'd had it done.
I bet. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like he got the same tendon I got in my third finger.
Probably, you know, that,
I did
that-
it with a utility knife on that one in
yeah,
2013,
yeah,
cutting plexiglass. So when I saw the tip hanging down and it wouldn't go up on its own, I knew I'd gotten that tendon again.
you've done something bad. Yeah. Well, I guess the cure to it is either go electric or use a glove or a chicken stick.
I've been using a chicken stick. I
Well,
was in front trying to read the RPM on that Habito that doesn't show the 4-blade. It shows
Oh.
2 and 3. And I think there was a low spot. The engine must have sped up a little bit, and there was a low spot at the front of my test stand, so it tilted forward and got me.
You know what I use for a mount for my test stand? I got me one of those. It's a fold-up thing, but it's for cutting wood and that. You know, and you-
Like a workmate or something
yeah,
like that.
yeah. I got one of those.
I may do that. Mine, I've got a
And,
big, tall
yeah.
thing, but it tips real easy.
Well, that's not good.
Yeah.
Well, the workmate, you got the long direction between the legs, you know,
Yeah.
because you're working off the end of it, so it's a lot more stable. And I mounted the motor mount on a nice square or rectangular piece of wood, so I could set it in there and then just clamp it into place. And if I want
think
more
that's-
scary,
That'll be my next way of doing that. I've got a stand I built that's tall enough that it's about hand height when I'm starting it, with a base about that wide and about that long, but the ground out where
Yeah.
I'm moving is all lumpy, so and decided to pick up speed and tilt forward a little bit.
it's lucky you know, if that had hit you in the main part of your body, that would have
Yeah.
sliced and diced you up pretty good.
Oh yeah, it sliced those 2 fingers pretty good, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, that's what they tell us when we got started in this hobby, was to watch fingers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
like when you got your first BB gun, they said you'll shoot your eye out.
Yes.
Yep.
Hey, Len.
Hey,
Howard.
Lynn, how you doing?
Hi, Lynn.
Good. How are you?
Doing well.
Doing
A
well.
lot better than Michael is.
Yeah, I pulled a swift one.
What'd you do?
Managed to get this finger and that finger in a
Oh my
4-blade
God.
APC.
That'll do it. Oh my God, that's awful.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
does.
I'm not gonna be doing much with this hand for a while.
Did it stop it?
No, it broke
Wow.
the blades up and vibrated to loosen the tatone mount and pulled loose from the gas line finally.
Holy shit. What
Wow.
kind of motor was it?
I managed on eBay to pick up a Johnson 33S. And
Okay.
it had the prop extension and 2-inch spinner.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I was trying to see what kind of RPM it was turning. I tried it from the back and I could never get a reliable reading behind. So I'm in front and I guess it decided to bounce.
Wow.
Not me.
Wow. Well, I'm glad you're laughing. I mean, that's good.
Yeah.
What else can
that's
you
good.
do?
I know. You go cry.
What can I say?
Yeah,
I'm a
you can
glutton.
cry.
I always have been.
Oh, man.
Let me say
How
hi to
many in this
Eddie.
group? Is there anybody here that's never got his fingers in a prop?
I've never been badly injured, no.
But
I've
you've got it in
got-
a prop.
Oh yeah, I've got my fingers in the prop like in half A's and stuff, but I've never been injured by a prop really.
You're a
Yeah,
lucky man.
I've never had a true prop strike, no.
Yeah, same here, Lynn.
Touch
Half
wood,
A's will eat your ass up though.
touch wood.
Yeah.
Yeah. I usually backflip my stalker, and that's how I kind of get out of the way because my hand is far gone before the prop comes around.
Yeah.
Backflipping it. And I don't go through the compression. I just basically hit the prop back against it.
If I'm gonna go through compression, I smack it, I don't flip it. Like if I'm gonna go through compression, I hit it down like that.
right.
That way it's not gonna have a chance to bite me. But
Yeah.
generally I do them backwards too.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
just
except the whole-
flip a prop through compression. I'll do it on an OS 46 or something like that, sure, because I know they don't generally bite.
Right.
And I wear a glove all the time, like a big heavy glove, but they don't generally bite. But some of the other motors, if you flip them through compression, you're gonna get a good whack in a big hurry.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now I'm really nervous when I flood, when I don't do the right prep, the right number of
Yeah,
and then
Yeah,
I know
that's-
I know the motor is flooded. That's when you can really get snapped.
that's when you really want to go backwards.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course, you could go to electrons. They don't bite you.
Oh yeah, they do. If you put your hand in an electron, it doesn't stop either. It keeps trying harder. It'll really
Oh, I
get
know.
you.
Yeah.
I know, but you see, you're not supposed to stick your hand in. You don't have to get your hand anywhere near there.
Yeah.
Apparently people still do.
Well,
It's strange how some people actually will put their hand in the prop going to reach for the needle valve. That's what it's like a brain
disconnect.
Brain freeze.
disconnect just momentarily. And they know once they get their hands up, but it's too late. And so it's I really like the newer motors with the needle valve, behind the engine. That way,
Charles?
you're so far away.
They call that a cranial flatulation.
That's called a brain fart.
I like that. Pioneer flatulation. I like that. Hey, Mike.
You know what
you're
my
early.
feeling is on that? If you reach through your propeller once to go for the needle valve, you're gonna get cut up real bad, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's when it's time to get someone else to start your airplane for you.
Well, usually it only happens once.
Well, no, it happens when you get old.
That's right. That's
I
exactly
think
what
that's
it is.
that's a
When
good
you get
point.
old, this is what happens. And the thing is, that's when it's time to get somebody else to flip your motor. Because I would never even consider doing something like that, being of normal mind. It's when your mind starts to go that's when that stuff
Yeah.
starts to happen.
I heard you guys talking about busted knuckles and somebody getting cut and stuff like that. That's why, oh my goodness. Ugh, I didn't see it. I couldn't see that on YouTube because my square was real small. Ooh, I'm sorry, Mike. Sorry that happened, man.
It's
But
called
I
a
had to-
10.6 APC.
Oh yeah, that's the worst. Was it sanded at least, or was it unsanded? Yeah, ouch. Yeah, sandals, APCs. But I heard that and I had to pop in because I got cut and went to the emergency room myself today, not airplane related, but with a knife.
Oh, no.
Yeah, coming back from getting my estimate on my truck, and part of the bumper started falling off, and the wheel well plastic was flopping around, hitting the wheel. So I pull over, I get my big old buck knife out, and I go out there to whack that, it's that hard, thick plastic, and I went right through my darn knuckle with the knife.
Oh, man.
No, you're not the only one that went to the emergency room today, but they looked at it and they said it just bled so bad. It was bleeding. It wouldn't stop. So I popped in the ER on the way home. They didn't do anything. They just said, it's your blood thinners. It'll eventually stop. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
You're on
I feel,
them too. I'm on a Pixaban, and needless to say, when I got these two, in that prop, it took a while to get it to stop.
Yeah. Well, you're not the only one with a boo-boo on their finger today, so I thought I'd pop in and I feel your pain, man. I feel your pain. And Len, I heard you talking about, when they're flooded, you too, Charles,
Yeah.
flooded in.
Yes.
And I don't know if you stunt guys know this a lot. I know Howard is familiar. We use blow tubes on our combat motors. Well, Len, you probably know that, using a
I
blow
don't
tube.
know. What's a blow tube? I don't even know what that is.
It's just like an aluminum piece of aluminum, like a straw, but made out of aluminum or something.
Yeah.
And you try to find the size that's the diameter of your venturi,
Okay.
and you put a little piece of fuel line on it so it doesn't go all the way in the venturi. It'll just
Okay.
make a seal,
Yeah.
and then you put another little piece of tubing on the other end, and you stick that in your venturi, you put it in your mouth, and you rotate the prop and blow through it, and it blows everything through the crankcase and out the exhaust port. It's a way
What
to
a
clear
great idea. I
way
never
to
knew
clear a
about that.
motor, other than trying to tip it up
Yeah.
and get all just run down the crankcase and run out the exhaust port.
That's a great idea.
Yeah,
I
I'm
thought you
gonna
was gonna
make one
start
up.
siphoning gas out of your neighbor's tank.
I got one here, so I should know exactly where it is, but I don't. But I'll show it to you.
Yeah,
I like
it's-
that.
well,
That is great.
Well,
It's
he's getting
important
it- Go ahead.
blow suck too.
Yeah.
That's the whole. Sometimes there's an ambiguity there. Blow rather than sucking in this case.
Yeah, don't suck.
Yeah.
Not a good idea.
Yeah, very good. Let me catch up on the chat box, you guys. And for starters, we have 9 likes and we have 20 viewers. So please hit the like button. That helps the analytics of the show.
I
So
gave
we're
my
getting
like
really-
before I got on.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. So please hit that. And then in the chat, we have Jeff Riley. Hello, Jeff.
Hi, Jeff.
Stunthangar.
Yep.
Like smashed. Thank you. I did the same as John did, but I drilled mount holes in the table and put blind nuts on the bottom.
That's a good idea.
It's a great idea.
I got one here.
And then Steve Minicella says, you say you stuck your hand in an APC propeller? Well, Steve, it
Yeah.
actually fell on him, Steve. It fell toward him. But yeah, inadvertently he did put his hand in a propeller. And then he said, I have not. And then and I think, Steve, you're new to us. Thank you very much for coming in. And please consider joining us. I'd like to have some more people come on in. And Charlie Ramsden, I don't think I've seen you before either. So thank you very much for checking us out. He says, check on Michael. Guys think he might have died. I don't know what he's saying. What he meant by that.
He's no longer up on the list here.
Oh, well, I see him.
I see him.
I see
Okay.
him. But thank you, Charlie, and welcome. And then Herbie Williams, another new guy. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I know we have a number of people watching this live every show, so it's great to see you guys come on in. And he says, hey, fellas, just dropped in. Just thought I'd say that Stunt is a cool name. Yeah, you're right. Stunt is a cool name. I agree.
Right. I agree.
And then Charlie Ramsden came back and says, Lynn, do you have any crackers? Well, I tell you, we get critiqued on our food. I tell you, more than our planes, but our food.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
I got a cracker joke. You want to hear it?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
When I was in the Navy, we had a guy whose name was Mowicky. He was a big old Polak from Chicago area. And he was what they call a cum show artist. He could go out with a box full of junk and come back with the neatest stuff. He was just a wheeler and a dealer. But the problem was, and now he's in the Navy, remember, but if they untied the ship and it was no longer tied to the shore, he immediately got seasick. Seriously. It was just knowing that the ship was not tied up psychologically, and we'd go out to sea for, weeks and weeks at a time. And I used to remember seeing him, he'd come walking down the passageway, and he had a box of saltine crackers here under this arm. And he's going down and he's chewing on these saltines all day. I walked up to one day and says, Moiki, we've been out for a week. How you doing? He says, oh, I'm doing okay. I said, are the saltines helping? He says, oh yeah. He says, I eat so much of these when we're out at sea. When I take a crap, I no longer have to wipe. I just dust it off.
Oh boy. All right, Mike, save us, Mike.
Help, Mike, help.
Yeah. All right. Well, John, I got a seasick story for you when we get to the after party.
All right.
Thank you so
All right.
much.
There's a blow tube. So this end over here is to go into the venturi. Little few tube in there for your mouth, right?
Yeah.
This is just a piece of, aluminum tubing. And this one just happens to be sized for my half-A combat motors. You just shove it in there. It takes up all the space around. Put it in your mouth. You get it off a compression stroke. And you blow through it. You're just blowing
it right out.
You want to do it with the airplane down and kind of angled the right way so everything ends up going out to.
What a great idea.
Yeah, I'm sure Howard knows that one.
Yeah. Thanks for that tip. Appreciate that.
That was a good one, Mike.
Now I wonder who thought that up.
I don't know.
combat guys.
Yeah, I know it's got to be one particular guy that figured that thing out.
Probably the guy that had a flooded engine and tried to use an electric starter on it because it wouldn't start and he broke his
bent the
crank.
rod. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's probably the first guy that figured it out. I don't know.
No doubt
Or he
about
just-
that.
He just blew in it and got a face full of fuel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Howard may know the history on blow tubes and when they started making the scene. I'm guessing it's probably the F2D guys. I think were probably instrumental in that. Not old school combat guys.
I don't
'Cause
know.
I think you just tipped them up and kind of rotated the prop back and forth and maybe tried to blow in it or something. But
Yeah, you get your face pretty close to it and get fuel sprinkled all over your nose and lips. And
Yeah, nothing like a face full of fuel. It's never
that's
fun.
that's cologne, man. What are you talking about? That brings the ladies in, man. That's cologne.
Doesn't work with it.
Especially
Doesn't
that
work
high
with crap
nitro
for me.
stuff.
according
that's
to
funny.
the stunt group that Howard belongs to, yeah, that would be cologne.
Hey, Tom, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, I always said the
Thursday,
whole
guys.
reason I fly stunt is for the women and the money.
And the money, yes.
Yeah.
It's like that picture I saw on, that meme I saw on Facebook, got that lady leaned up against the guy. She said, "Ooh, that smells expensive. What is it?" He said, 98 proof.
Wow.
Hey, Eddie,
Yeah.
I got your email.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out, let's see, have you started cutting those parts yet?
No, not yet. All I've got cut out is the ribs and the bulkhead.
And you just need those slots on the fuselage side, right? And
If it's not going to be a problem, if it is, then don't worry about it.
well, it's not really a problem. It's going to take a little bit of time because, it takes a little time.
That's fine. Okay, I'm not in any big hurry for it. I still ain't got all the wood to build it yet. So
Okay.
if you're up to it, then I'd appreciate it. If not, then like I said, don't thread it none.
All right.
Hey, Brendan, thanks for coming in.
Hey, how we doing?
Doing well. What are you up to?
I'm just gonna be doing a lot of soldering tonight. Got some new batteries that I got to put some ends on. I got the balance board that I got to put some different ends on. So just a lot of soldering planned for this evening.
Oh, good. You'll get really good at it.
Yep. Yes, I'll have a lot of practice tonight for sure.
Very
Hey,
good.
Did you see the charging setup that El Presidente here has got on the oh shoot, what do you call it? on the You know what I'm trying to say.
No, I don't.
Classifieds?
Classified. There we
There
go.
you go.
It's hell to get old, guys.
Yeah, you're not kidding. I
I
I
hear
have
you.
no
probably-
idea what you're talking about.
I'm probably, quite possibly, depends on Gary, probably the oldest one here. How old are you, Gary? Gary?
78.
Why didn't you say 18? Come on, you gotta think quick. Think fast, eh?
You and I are the same age, Gary. So
Be 79 next month.
I'll be 70. You're a little older than me. I'll be 79 in May.
Oh, it's
All
not
right.
much.
Not much. You guys are
No.
almost the same age.
Yeah,
You're the same vintage.
tell you.
Yeah.
I wish my dad could still fly. He's 83, but he just had knee surgery and he's going to have the other one done in June. So he's going to be out for a while, but hopefully when he gets his
Get him a bar stool.
hopefully when he gets his knees settled down, we might get him a half a tank or something and run one through it. Maybe get his Goldberg Cosmic Wind out there and let him run it half a lap or so, or a half a tank.
Get him a bar stool and
Yeah.
and an electric motor and with the throttle activated where he could shut it off when he wants to or speed it up or slow it down.
Oh,
Well, I have a gentleman named Fred Miller that I fly with. He's 86,
Yeah.
good
Wow.
for him.
and when I'm
Hey,
having a bad day, he flies better than me.
My dad stuck a hatchet through his knee. Stuck a hatchet through his knee when he was 13, so it's catching up to him, and he just had his left knee done, and he's going to have his right knee done sometime June, July. So he'll be out the rest of the summer on it. So hopefully next year we can get him back out there to fly.
Yeah,
You know,
that'd be
I
great.
hope I have a neighbor, Eddie, he's a year or so younger than me. And he had his right knee replaced. He used to play a lot of basketball. He's a relatively tall guy, good shot. Anyway, he was out walking with a walker, but he was walking 2 days after the operation. Now,
Oh yeah.
my wife had both knees replaced at the same time, and it took her a bit longer than that. But I'm thinking with the new procedures they got, he might not be out the whole summer.
He would be walking a lot longer. I mean, he doesn't need a cane around the house, but if he's out somewhere, goes out of the house, he'll take his cane with him, only because right now we have to call it new knee and old knee.
Yeah.
Good knee and bad knee, because his new knee is fine, but it's still this. We just had a cold snap come through. We had 3 inches of snow come,
Ooh.
so it didn't fare too well with the joints, but his old knee, he has to wear a brace on it, so he can't really support himself
Yeah.
with his old knee to help the new knee, and so that's what's causing his problem now is his old knee. But
Right.
we're gonna get him fixed up and hopefully out back in the field.
Right.
Well, it'd be good because it's really bad to have to give up something we've done all our lives like this.
Yeah.
Right. Well, what gave me the inspiration to get him back out there was I can't remember the guy's name at the Nats. He was 89 years old. The old man
John,
flies.
I think it was John Batavio.
Yeah, he flew
Batavio
the
was
Aries.
amazing.
He had that Aries, I think is what it was, the orange and blue one or something like that. I can't
Oh,
remember.
you
that's
mean
not-
Wesley Dick?
Wesley Dick,
Oh,
that's right,
Wesley
yeah.
Dick, yeah.
He's amazing too.
Yeah, but I mean, I thought, my gosh, I'm only 53, so I'm a young pup compared to some of y'all,
Yeah.
or 90% of y'all probably, and not saying that y'all are old, but
We are old.
I feel your
we
pain
are.
though. But
Getting there.
but I told him, I said, man, I just hope I'm walking by your age, much
All
less out there still flying.
Westlake.
Let me interrupt you guys. Mike Lonke, hope is going to get us back on model airplanes. He has his hand raised, so please help us.
Oh, yeah, sure. I picked up some stuff today from Dave Morris. I don't know if any of you guys know Dave. He's originally from Iowa, but he's a Kansas City guy now. Combat guy, stunt guy. He saw my cry for help on Maca about hunting down some F2D equipment for Sam. And Dave is on eBay as Toys R Me. I don't know if any of you guys have ever stumbled across.
I have.
He sells tons of control line stuff on eBay under the name Toys R Me. Mostly Cox models and, you know, the hard to find WenMac, the testers, the Cox, but anything control line related, old kits, whatever. And he buys out of states. That's what he does. I don't know how he finds them or how he gets his stuff. But he saw my cry for help for F2D models a few weeks ago. And he was actually driving up to see an old flying buddy of his in Iowa and buying his estate out, buying his models and stuff. And Dave and his family just happened to be in Nashville this week on vacation. So Sam and I just drove into town here and met him about 2 hours ago. And Dave came up. I know it's boring because it's combat stuff and you guys are probably sick of seeing it.
That's not boring, Mike. Not at
all. We got a stack of, we got 4 brand new F2D models, the Yavenko Wackerman style. Now these are the older ones with the wooden trailing edge, which is fine.
They're fine.
Yeah, because you know we need fodder for the cannon, so we're not. I just want to. I want to try to get new stuff. I don't even care if it's old, as long as it's new. I don't want beat up, repaired stuff or junk. So. Right. Anyway, we got 4 new F2Ds for Sam.
Nice.
And then he happened to mention that he also picked up 7 of Phil Cartier's Gotcha Streaks.
Nice.
ARF models, and I got one out here that I've already taken out of the plastic so you can see it. But this is Phil's ARF combat model. This is what he sold as an ARF. And I think these were $75 because the wing is built and covered. It's ready to go. And then you just got your stabilator and your carbon fiber boom. You plug it in. And then, you know, of course, you do your bell crank and your horn and your push rod. And
ready to go.
Put in your lead out guide, but they're ready to go.
Cool.
So Dave, you know, even though Sam and I got about 20 of the Russian speed limit planes, I wanted to get some of Phil's stuff before you can't get it. So I bought 4 of these. I should have bought all 7, but I only bought 4 of them. But man, Phil made nice stuff. It's strong and straight and light. It's good stuff. So
very, very nice. That looks very good.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
I know it's a classification, but what's the F2D? What is that? I'm unfamiliar with the classifications of the combat.
Well, F2D is an FAI event. That's a worldwide event because
they fly at the world champs.
F2 denotes that it's FAI event. It's just like F1 racing, right? That's a worldwide event. But in control line, you've got F2A, F2B,
F2C, and F2DD. That's right.
So F2B is stunt, F2D is combat. Now I'm going to get these mixed up, but A is either racing or speed, and C is either racing or speed. I'm not.
Okay.
I think A is speed.
Speed,
and then I think C is
F2C is little composite carbon fiber diesels or whatever they fly, you know, 3-up racing.
Yeah, racing.
So those are the
so
3.
The F2 is worldwide, and then your ABCD is
that's right. Exactly. That's right.
Okay.
Of what F2 event it is.
Of the discipline.
I've heard all y'all, I heard everybody talk about it and everything, and I'm thinking one of these days I want to ask.
Yeah, F2 is control line.
Right.
F2 is
they have
control
nothing.
line.
They have nothing to do with AMA events at all.
No,
AMA
no.
events have their own
Totally
rules
separate.
and
Yep.
their own setup. Although similar, the rules
the
are
same.
not identical. The F designation for any of those disciplines is what everyone around the world follows if you're going to go to a world championship.
Okay.
Whereas AMA events are just for the United States.
So you have to look up their rules for their procedures.
Right.
Correct.
We made it really simple here in Canada for stunt. We fly the same rules as America.
As America, you
We
fly
fly your rules. Yeah.
And then just to narrow it down a little further, Eddie, F2D Combat is 15 size motors on 52-foot lines. That's the class. There's no half A, there's no speed limit, there's no big block fast. It's 15 size motors on 52-foot lines with 5% fuel.
Okay.
And then there's muffler and Venturi restrictions on them as well.
Wow. Yeah.
As well.
And
So that-
shutoffs.
It's shut off. It's like NASCAR. Everybody has to run the same. You can fly any airplane design you want, but the engine setup and muffler and Venturi has to be identical across the board.
Okay. Cool.
Thank you very much, Mike. And by the way, it's not boring to me. Combat. I fly with half the guys I fly with fly combat, and I have 3 combat planes. I don't have any desire or intention to compete, but it's fun when I go out there with a combat plane and fly, especially when it's kind of windy. I just enjoy the combat plane. So, and I'm interested, even when Al Fierro last week, Friday, talked about the Perkies. Is that what it is, Perky or Pesca?
Yeah. Charles, you should, every time you're playing with your combat plane, you should fly the pattern with it.
That's what I want to do. It's just going so fast. I just haven't mastered that yet. I know Scott Dinger can do the pattern flying a combat plane, and you can do the pattern on a combat plane. The guys that I fly with, they pretty much just fly combat. I haven't seen anybody in person fly the pattern. I mean, one guy I fly with, he does a lot of vertical 8s. I see him do hourglasses. But I have not done that yet.
The one I would tell you to do the most is squares, outside squares.
Oh yeah, with a combat plane. Wow,
Yeah,
that would.
Because then you get that fear of diving your big stunt plane at the ground and pulling it out at 4 to 6 feet. If you can do that with a combat wing, you're going to be fearless when you do it with a stunt plane.
It's a very good point, and thank you for telling me that. That's a great idea. And so, anyways, I'm interested in all that stuff. So we don't have to be just a neural, just control line and combat.
Yeah, I know. I tend to think I wear you guys out with the combat stuff.
I find it interesting, and I don't know very much about carrier or scale. So I mean, all it's on the table. Anyways, Mark Lumen says done the like thing. So I'm not sure if he pushed it or smashed it, but he says he'll be in a bit. And then we have 24 concurrent viewers, 14 likes. So we're still lagging on the likes. So please hit the like button. That helps the analytics. So please smash, push, whatever you want to do with the like button, do that. And don't forget to consider the super chat. That helps the channel. And also the memberships. The memberships are started just $4.99 a month. That's less than 17 cents a day. Please contribute. And that's about it. Back to our regularly scheduled program. Hey, Tom, what you been doing, Tom? You're just so quiet tonight. I can't believe it.
Hey, Tom.
Just mostly finishing up with the robotics team. But we had 4 inches of snow last night, so I spent the day cleaning up snow out of the driveway.
Okay.
That kind of stuff.
I understand.
That's no fun at all.
Hey, I had a neat day yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, my neighbor across the street come over to help me with, get some programming onto my smartphone. And as we got talking, I come to find out he knew what a control line airplane was because he saw the plans up there in a couple places in here. Turns out he used to fly control line a little bit when he was a kid, and he's interested in learning more.
Oh,
And then
great.
And then he saw my ham radio equipment, and he's also interested in that. So I think I got a new buddy here.
I think you have a new buddy, and that's a lot in common.
Yeah.
And by the way, John, I actually came across the Brodak Cardinal profile plans that I have.
Oh,
and I saw your name on the plans. Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent work. Excellent,
Well, thank
excellent. But I don't have the pattern sheet. I just have the first two sheets.
On the Brodak Warbirds, there never was a pattern sheet.
I mean the Brodak Cardinal profile is what I have.
Yeah, there never was a pattern sheet on those. He was still using die cutting, and I did make the die cutting setups, for the die cutters to use. But and they could be made into a pattern sheet with a little work. So maybe one day I'll get some time and I might do some of those. The thing the interesting thing was that the Cardinal was the first airplane that I drew for Jack or John.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a friend of mine, Dave Calkins, back in the Midwest. Did a little CAD work, and John knew him and went to him first. And Dave says, "No, I'm too busy to do that. But here's my friend John. He'll talk to him." So I got a call from John on that. And that's how I got started with Brodak. So that was the first one, and he sent me a copy of some plans from Wendy, and I copied them as exact as I could. And it turns out, though, that the flaps were too wide, or are too wide. They need to be cut back to a smaller sizing. I mean, it flies fairly good, but it flies much better with a little less width on the flaps. Enough on that. Back to you.
All right. Well, I was trying to find. I know I have it on this computer. I was just going to show it if we have nothing else going on model airplane wise. But Howard, was you going to say something, Howard? Did I interrupt you? I think I might have.
Well, I forget what, but Brett Buck was giving advice to somebody online to reduce the flap cord on the Cardinal.
Yeah, I read that. Yeah.
On the profile Cardinal or the big build? I have plans to the 89 Cardinal, and I have plans to the Brodak profile Cardinal.
I don't know.
How much
Just for the
smaller is the profile? It's got to be like half size or something, right?
Well, 3/4 of an inch less width is what Brett's talking about. The thread is current on Stunthangar if you want to look it up. Someone suggested, I think it might have been Brett, I'm not sure, to go with removable flaps when this guy builds his kit, so he could try it once with the flaps as they are, take them off and put a different set, narrower set on there, try it there and see which one he likes best.
Yeah, I've taken off about a ½ inch off of my flaps on my Striga, and I increased the elevator about 1/4 or 3/8 of an inch.
Makes a difference, doesn't it?
It does. Oh, it made a dramatic difference to me. I can't remember how it used to fly, but I was surprised that it just turned much quicker.
Well, yeah, too much flap can be, I think, could be almost as bad as having no flaps at all.
Yeah.
I'm laughing because T-Bone said, doing an outside square at 120 miles an hour, make your butt pucker.
Well, we don't do it with fast, not Nelson's, man. Speed limit at 75, it's doable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw Gordon Delaney do the pattern running a Mark 7, I think, a Mark 4, and he was doing somewhere between 120 and 125.
Ooh. No, thank you.
I might need like 100-foot lines to do the pattern with the combat ship doing that fast.
I can't blink that fast.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, there was
I
a,
don't have any idea how fast it was, but my dad had built from the plans a Super Satan and had a G-21 35 Super Tiger in it, and that thing was fast.
oh yeah.
That Super Tiger 35, you said?
Yeah,
Was that the C, or was that the what's the other one? The G?
the G-21 was the combat motor.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a fast motor. That motor actually scared me.
Good
I
motor.
have a comment by Jeff Riley. He says, "Good point, Mike. Squares, triangles, wingovers, etc. Great practice with the old combat plane." Yeah, I just
Slow, baby.
it just takes me a while just to get used to going that fast. My Striga does not fly very fast, and so when I get my combat plane on, it takes me a while to get acclimated just to that speed. When I first start flying, I'm just freezing. I'm just not used to turning around that fast. And then after I relax, then I start doing maneuvers and stuff like that. But that's my goal, is to do that. I do enjoy some of the four-leaf clovers with the combat plane. That's a lot of fun.
You know, somewhere here at the house, I have a plane that was loaned to me. Well, actually given to me by Jim Rhodes, and it was Bob Sugden's design, and he designed it back in the late 40s. And it was called a Flounder. The wings are held on with rubber bands, and it was a very, it could be very fast, but it was really very maneuverable. I've thought about building one and taking it and campaigning it in old time, because that sucker, I was given it so that I could practice my wing overs and bringing it down deeper into that before I give it down to get it out and level, because I was having trouble with it. All my turns on the downwind side there, where I went inverted, were all, I don't think I ever did one in my recent days lower than 10 foot. And flying that thing, that Flounder, it got me down to where I could get it down to a reasonable, flight altitude without worrying about crashing. The plane is, I'd say, almost a little ugly, unless you're really into the genre. So I didn't care much about it, whether or not I crashed it or not. So that helped also.
Right.
But I'll try to find it, dig it up, and have it here Friday.
All right.
Yeah, I'd like to say that.
So I have another comment from someone in the chat box. I have Patrick 10EC. He says, "I have a control line plane that has the controls coming off the right wing, so it would fly clockwise. I am new to the hobby, but this seems to be the opposite of most planes. Is this common? Thanks." And it's not unusual, Patrick. I know Jacobone, who's on a lot of Windowski videos, he flew the other way, and even George Aldridge flew the other way. And does anybody here fly the other way?
Leo Mel is gone.
Leo Mel did?
Yeah.
Who else?
Common is not necessarily how I describe it, but it's not unusual.
I'm curious, Charles. His name was what? And 10IC?
No, EC.
Oh,
Edward Charlie.
is he from Tennessee? Does that spell 10IEC? 10EC?
Tennessee, I would think so.
10EC.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. You're right. Yeah.
Well, that's what I picked up on. Where's he at? Where's that boy at, man?
Patrick, where are you from? Where are you at? Where you at, man? And then we're dropped down a little bit. We have only 19 concurrent viewers, and our likes are 14. So please hit that like
the other
button.
people hit the like.
It won't
Please.
cost you anything. Please hit the like, but please consider the things that do cost a little coin. Please consider the the super chats and the new memberships. All you do is just hit the right below us, that blue button, hit the join button, and that helps everything out. So, and by the way, earlier that was when I said T-Bone, I meant the T-Bone 1260. That's his handle. That's Tom Luciano.
Oh,
T-Bone. Where's Al at tonight?
didn't
Al.
Gene Schaefer
That's a
also
good-
fly clockwise?
What was that, Mike?
Didn't
I was
Gene
asking-
Schaefer also fly clockwise?
Other Mike.
I don't know.
I believe I remembered hearing something about he flew clockwise.
All right. Well,
Howard,
I don't know.
D. Kamara, he's up there where you are. He flies the other way.
Who?
Some of the Perky guys
Kamara?
do.
Oh, Roy the camera? Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Big.
Yeah, and well, what was the guy that designed the? Oh, never mind.
Already.
He was. Gordon won classic at the Nats several times with his design.
Oh,
Yeah, I have that same trouble. Colossus. The Colossus.
That's a pretty plane.
Ticky, wasn't it?
Jim Ticky.
Jim Ticky. He flew the other way.
I didn't know
And
that.
T-Bone 1260 or Tom Luciano, he says, yes, Gene did.
I'm thinking it's just whatever you learn on is how, I mean,
The
the way you learn it, then that's the way it is.
the problem, in my opinion, and it's just my opinion, is that it makes it tough. And you're right. If you learn going the other way, that's how you'll fly. But it makes it tough for you to get instruction for somebody else.
Yeah.
It's like
And-
somebody left-handed trying to teach you how to write.
Right. And it also, from a judge's standpoint, it's a little, the judge isn't used to looking at it going that way. And not all of them can do the same job going the other way that they can do going the counterclockwise way. So I think you can't, I mean, I can't prove it, but I think you could, have a little problem there once in a while, not all the time.
Yeah, I'd heard stories Gene Schaefer was one of the best pilots to have never won the Nats.
That's probably true. I've also heard Gordon Delaney described as that as well.
And what's his name? Derek Barry also.
Yeah.
I guess that's a compliment when you're told that, but I'm sure it's still not satisfying until you win that championship,
Yeah. Hey, would you like me to post up the RC Uniflow stunt tank PDF?
Sure, just give me 1 second. Let me just catch up on the chat box. The King, he says, that's his handle. He says, I have set of vintage teardrop wheel collars.
Oh, I
So
remember
are you going to
those.
sell those, or are you just letting us know some of the stuff you got? And then Patrick 10 EC, he says it was my grandpa's plane that he built in the 50s or 60s. He was right-handed, so it seemed a bit counterintuitive.
Yeah.
And that's we're all caught up, John. So me make sure that the share, I think the share is set up. Yeah, go ahead.
Should be there now.
It is there.
There it
Okay.
is. Woohoo.
Yeah. I just thought it might be time to post this again because we have people that are, haven't seen it before. And this is just a way I learned most of it from Alan Brickhouse, who's since passed on, but he had used plastic RC tanks for years flying stunt. set them up for Uniflow, and he showed me how he did it.
It works.
It works. It works very good. Here's your Uniflow line right here that I got that little hand on.
Right.
It runs here to, it could be anywhere from the middle of the tank down to about there. You don't want to get it much closer to that because you're getting to where you might interfere. And the reason why this is separated, there's two reasons. One is if you tie the other end to the pickup, then your end of your Uniflow is going up and down with the pickup as a clunk. Well, the reason why this is set up this way is because you can change the apparent height of the Uniflow, making it run richer or slower one way or the other by twisting that and raising the end up or down. So in other words, if you get it into your airplane and let's say you run slower inverted than you do upright, you can adjust the height of the tank to where it'll act like it's right on the money and it runs the same upright and inverted. And this one over here, this top one, is your overflow, and it just bends up into this corner. And that's just, you block that off after you fill it up. And here it comes in with just a slight bend and a piece of flexible tubing. And I like to use these cindered bronze filters. I think they do an excellent job for stunt. And as you look at it from the front, here's the holes. Here's the lid, the cap, and it's the 3 holes, and they're all out. So if you want to study this further, take a screenshot so you'll have it on your computer, and you'll have the whole diagram. And I guarantee you set this up correctly, it will work, and it will work very good.
So it's using a separate tube for the Uniflow?
Don't even have a tube. Well, you can do the brass all the way here, or you can get it bent the right way and then just do tubing from there to here. That's of no consequence. But yes, you separate them. You see on a fixed tank where you've got them soldered in, you'll mount the pickup all the way to within 1/8 of an inch of the back wall, and then you mount the Uniflow right on the same one, but a little bit forward of that, and that's fine for a fixed. But when you're using the Uniflow to change the height of the tank, it has to be separated for it to work best. And so this separation like this allows you, that's why this is bent over here, so you can reach in there and twist it up and down. And
so
you know,
look, it only looks, I'm looking at it on my phone, so it's tiny, but it only looks like it only goes like halfway back or something.
Yeah, it doesn't have to go all the way back. By the time this thing covers, the fuel the fuel is right in here, and you'll hear it open, but it doesn't open much sooner than it would open if you had it all the way back here. So
as I did it, the tank I did was one of the oval RST4s that Sparky did the thing with the tube attached to the
yeah. See, that I don't like the oval
line on it.
I don't like the oval. I can live with the round tank, but I like the rectangular tanks a lot better. And you get more fuel in a rectangular tank than you do in a round.
For sure.
And the idea is up here, for instance, with a Stalker 51, I can get a whole pattern in less than 4 ounces of fuel.
Exactly.
I go down in altitude, like say down to LA or to Brodak. I get right before right after the overheads, I run out of gas.
Oh, gee, that's not a good place to run out.
That's on 4 ounces, right?
Yeah, it was on 4 ounces. So what
I got to
did
remember
is,
when I go to Brodak's to put a bigger tank in the airplane.
it's a good idea.
Okay.
I made up a 6 ounce, which isn't a whole lot bigger than this. And now when I go down in altitude, I have no problems.
Okay.
Any questions? Any more questions?
No,
Yeah.
but I can attest that that works excellent. I think my tutor one, no, my tutor two, excuse me. I had that system and I would reach in there and adjust it. I also had that system in another plane I was flying. Trying to remember it, but the system works great. Instead of having to
It
raise,
does.
because I was raising and lowering clunk tanks before I came across your system. And now I don't have to raise and lower the tank. I can just adjust that
Uniflow. Yeah.
the Uniflow and I get the same engine run upright and inverted. By
I
adjusting
did the
it.
same thing in a chipmunk last summer and it worked absolutely outstanding. And
Yeah,
I've
so-
never had any luck with plastic tanks ever. I always used metal tanks, but I didn't have room to put one in the chipmunk that I had. And I thought, well, I'm going to try John's system. Sure enough, perfect.
Well, the system actually, I did a little bit of, but it was heavily influenced by Alan Brickhouse.
Okay.
Okay.
That works
And-
good.
Yeah, and we're at a contest and I was running a metal tank. He says, you want to lose an ounce of weight on there and have a better engine run? And so he talked to me and showed me his tank and showed me what this, told me all about it. And I've used it ever since, you know.
Yeah.
Very
Well,
good.
it works.
Let me say hi to Tryon. Tryon, thanks for coming in. And I noticed, Tom, what you're doing, but I'll be right with you, Tom. But thanks for coming in, Tryon. I see you got your beautiful revolutions in your hand. What are you doing to it? Are you
I just prep to do some to touch up on it. I have to touch up some of it on the canopy in this area.
very, very nice.
That's the bottom.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Very nice. Wow. Very nice.
That came out not half bad at all there, Trey.
I want hot pink on my checkerboards, buddy. Hot pink.
I think it is, man. Whatever you want.
And let me catch up on the chat box real quick. So the king, that's his handle, said, just saying my neighbor gave me a box of his stuff. I have U-reel box, 2 ignition engines with champion spark plugs, several pairs of wooden wheels. Wow, that's some neat stuff, the king. Matter of fact, VSC, I think, ended this weekend, and that stuff would have been very popular. That's in Arizona, Tucson. And I hope that if I imagine that Dennis had a missing, is probably traveling. Maybe that's why he's not in tonight, but he was there at VSC. But yeah, that stuff would be a hit, especially those champion spark plugs and ignition motors. There's some people that really covet those motors. And Tom, what are you doing, Tom? I saw looks like you had a sparkler there or something. What's going on?
Sorry. I'm working on some wire wrap prototyping, little wire wrap gun.
I have never heard of a wire up gun.
It has nothing to do with airplanes. It's just something I was doing to keep busy while I'm listening to the chat. So sorry.
No problem. No problem. You don't have to sit still and listen. Yeah, you guys are feel free to do what you want. No problem. Appreciate you guys coming in.
I just found 2 plastic 6-ounce tanks. I'm going to put one on my new airplane.
There you
Oh,
go.
very good.
We're good to go.
Yeah. Trey, I think if you go to the Worlds and represent Romania, I think you're going to come home with a new not avocation, a new way to make your living, because I think they're going to those guys are going to be all over you for revolutions.
Oh, we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, Patrick 10EC, where are you from? In the chat, Patrick 10EC, where are you from?
Tennessee, I'll bet.
I bet so too.
And Lynn, what do you got going on in your shop? I see your beautiful plane behind you.
Yeah, I got the plane almost, it's ready to paint the fuselage now.
Oh,
Wow.
It's all done except for paint.
Wow.
Everything's finished. It
Let me
turned
see
out,
what-
it
Let
turned
me
out
see
pretty
your
sharp.
tripler on the other side, on the outboard side of your fuselage. Yeah, no, turn it to your left.
Ah,
Yeah, but I want to see the other side of the front.
The other left.
Yeah, the other left.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
There
There
you
we
go.
go.
That looks so good.
Yeah, it turned out really sharp.
Yeah.
What plane is that?
It's my own design. It's got a Magnum wing in it, but it's my own design fuselage and tails.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, very nice.
Almost similar, but bigger to the Excalibur. Except the Excalibur has the cheek on the other side too, all the way back to the wing.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I'm excited to fly it. It's not very light, but that's okay. It's got a Stalker 51. It'll be fine.
Well, I
Got a
like
big
how you
wing,
angled
too.
your landing gear. That's kind of neat.
That landing gear was built, I put that on my first really big stunt model way back in 1987.
Oh, wow.
And it's been sitting around in my box of junk for years and years and years. And I pulled it out and I thought, hey, that'll work in this airplane. So it did.
So
I just
that's
have
why
to I just have to repaint the spats.
oh,
They need to be painted. They've still got the ink lines on them from all those years ago.
I was going to say that it looks like the maple leaves have been changing color for a long time.
Yeah.
They're
They've
finally
gone through
look-
several seasons.
Yeah,
So yeah, it turned out pretty good. I'm happy with these wheels too. They're nice and light.
Yeah,
You know-
are those Hyperion or are those Dubro?
I think they're Dubro. I'm pretty sure they're Dubro.
Yeah, very nice.
Len, I really like the maple leaves on your spat.
I
Well,
do
maybe
too.
I'll leave them on there and just paint I don't know, I'll figure it out. I haven't decided.
Nothing wrong with representing, man.
Right.
Yeah, it looks very nice. Very pretty. Great job.
Naomi came up with a name for the airplane because it's all red. She wants me to call it Blaze.
Oh, that's a cool
Blaze,
name.
Very nice.
So that's
that's
going to be
very
the name
cool.
of it. It'll be Blaze.
Very cool.
Very cool.
The fuselage gonna be red too.
No, the fuselage will be black and it'll have either a blue canopy or silver.
Oh, cool. I think that'll look sharp.
Yeah, it should look nice when it's done. I'm
So I
hoping to
haven't-
fly it in profile at Brodak.
So I have a response from Patrick 10 EC. He's from Cleveland, Ohio area.
Well, call me red faced.
What did we miss?
So, Patrick, are you familiar with the Ohio Players? They came from out of Ohio. It's a R&B band, Ohio Players. Big time when I was in high school. They were big time. That was back in the 70s, by the way.
I'm that much older than you. Oh my goodness.
Well, I was born in 57.
Oh shoot, man. I was 13 years old when you were born.
I turned 64 this year. I matched the Beatles song this year.
All
in
right.
September.
Christ, I was 14 years old when you were born.
Yeah, I'm still trying to catch up to you, John.
Guys, I'm out of here. John, just take your time on whatever.
Okay.
Whenever you get to it, that'd be fine with me, if you feel like doing it.
Oh yeah, not a problem.
Thank you.
You know,
But I'll catch y'all on the next one. I won't be able to get on this Friday, but I'll catch you next Monday.
All right. Thank
All
you,
right.
Eddie. Thanks for
Take it
coming in,
easy,
man.
Eddie.
Appreciate it.
see you.
Thanks,
Bye
Eddie.
now.
See ya.
Have a nice night, Eddie.
And I have a response, another comment from the King. He says,
Okay.
I'm in Scranton, I guess Pennsylvania. I have met Bob Hunt, flew RC with him back in my Birdie XLT days at
Yeah.
Sussex, New Jersey Air Show. Ask him how his XLT I just turned 60 years young. That's a great attitude. 60 years young, the King. Yeah, I think all of us in here are whatever age we are that age young, because you have to be kind of young-hearted to be able to do this.
Yeah, in a couple of months I'll be even younger.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Right.
I'll be younger in July.
There we go.
Len, you're always young.
Yeah.
Well, I'm 60 as well.
Hey,
There you go.
Lynn,
61 in July.
is it you that put the Walt Burrell videos up? I sure appreciate the
No,
Wendy
Walt
videos.
Brownell.
In fact, or
No,
Walt
I didn't
Brownell.
put them up. Kevin King posted some of them, and another guy's doing a bunch of them. All I did is I had a bunch of the Windy videos, and I sent them to Kevin King, and he posted them. That's
Okay.
where that was my contribution.
Because
Which
I
is
was,
big. Which is
was
big.
in the middle of watching B25 number 418 when
Okay.
you guys came on.
Yeah, I've been watching that series too, because that's a very interesting build, the B25. I've
That's a
actually
really
watched that build
interesting
before.
build.
It's very interesting build. Very interesting. And we're talking about the Wendy Ranowski videos on the Walt Burnell channel.
Yeah, some of his stuff is very good.
Yes, I listen to, when I'm in my garage, in my shop, I listen to Wendy a lot. Oh, and by the way, John, I meant to mention that this weekend, John Miller, he's not there. I'll wait till he gets back. So this weekend, John, I was watching the In John Garage Sparky show this weekend.
Yeah.
And they was trying to figure out the name. They both were having these CRS. John
Yeah,
and
can't remember
Sparky, and they
stuff.
couldn't remember your name. And I was
Oh my
thinking
God.
John Miller, and even Gary was watching it, and someone chatted in the chat box, John Miller. They're talking about Santa Claus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
if you
I'm
was
about
watching,
ready to go put the Red Baron in the hangar to warm it up.
All right,
In the
thank you.
hangar.
That's a good one. I like that.
Put the Red Baron in the hangar.
That's right. Keep them in aviation.
That's right. Don't lose the aviation talk.
So we have 24 concurrent viewers. We have 17 likes. We are making progress, but our likes are lagging behind. So please, before you leave, I mean, the average view time right now is 20 minutes. So before you leave, please hit the like button. And if you're watching this as a replay, when this starts to replay, please hit the like button and consider joining the YouTube channel and come back and give us a super chat. So back to our regularly scheduled channel and
Regular scheduled programming.
program. Thank you, man. Keep me on track, man. And we have iPad 4. I think that is Brett, right? Is that Brett? Is your name Brett? Is that correct?
Hello.
Yeah, Brad. Okay, so it's Brad. You figured it out. You figured out how to change your name or at least edit. Thank you, Brad. Thanks.
There he is. Hey, Brad.
Hey, Lenny.
What's going on?
Well, not too much.
Hi,
Okay.
Brad.
Hey. Howard.
You take your glasses off to see Howard?
He's a long ways away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't, your arms aren't long enough, right?
We're getting inundated by combat flyers here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
These are all the combat guys gone stunt.
Not really. Well, a little.
Hopefully we could get Larry Scarzini to get us. I don't
Scarinzi.
think that'd ever happen.
And speaking of combat, I'm pulling out some engine porn here, man. I'm busting in.
Make you big here.
Well, just
Yeah.
busting into my bags of Nelsons.
Ooh, look at that. Oh, nice jewelry there.
Yeah, that's a used one, but it's been rubbed on by Mark Warashana and Ronnie, which I know Brad knows all too well. And then that's a brand spanking new one, never seen fuel. So I'm at a crossroads here because I'm getting the fast Yavenko that Al Ferraro gave Sam at the Nats. I'm going to hang a motor on it. I got to decide Does he get the super duper reworked Nelly from the Detroit Combat Team, or do I strap the brand new one on there that hasn't been massaged yet?
Holy
Wow.
crap. Depends on which one you want to eat dirt.
Well, yeah, right. That's the conundrum, right?
Crap.
Yes. Not to
Well-
mention the possibility of in competition, a impact engine to engine,
He's going to start flying Nelsons fast this year. I do not know if he'll fly fast at the Nats. Like he's gonna start flying the airplanes. I don't know if he's gonna be ready to go out there and actually match.
Have at it. Yeah.
Right. I mean, he is flying slow combat Nelsons on a suction tank, which is, 105, somewhere in there. But I don't know if he's ready for 120, 125 with a full blower Nelson on a bladder. So this is more going to be a training plane to get him used to flying that speed and the pull of that model, But I'm down to, because I got my other 6 Nelsons are already mounted. So I've got 2 left in the stash here. This one,
you might have to nail his feet to the ground too.
well, he's bulked up a lot since.
I know, I'm only kidding.
Yeah, he's gotten bigger. Even though this is a used motor, it's been reworked and massaged a little better by Warwashana. But this one's brand spanking new. And I guarantee you this used one is faster than this brand new one.
There you go.
I promise you.
Do you have any older ones?
No, I really don't. The 2 old ones that we have, which are, they always break, right? In slow combat, when you put a suction Venturi in them,
yeah,
and a Tiger spray bar, when you crash, they break right here at the back of the intake. So we have 2, yes, but they are, slow combat motors. They're Nelsons with Venturis on suction tank.
Okay. Yeah.
But he needs to experience the thrill of a full-blown Nelson on a bladder, just, bonk, the full deal. So he can handle it. He can fly the airplane. I'm confident he can fly the airplane and he can keep up with it. I don't know if he can keep up with somebody in the circle and actually fly a Nelson match. But this year, it's about just getting him flying the airplane, getting some time. So
airtime.
Yeah. Well, he's
what the
fast.
hell?
I'm sure he's going to learn all that super fast as well.
I'm going to give him the fast one. I'm not giving him the new one. I'll give him the fast. Because actually, the new one I need to give to Mark so he can take it apart and do his magic on it. And now, I'm not saying Nelsons aren't fast, just box stock out of the bag. They are. But Mark is a genius with these things because he flew a lot of Nelson 36 carrier combat, and he works on all the Detroit Combat Team guys, Nelsons. And I don't know what he does, but he massages them a little bit on the inside. He does a little more work, a little more head work on there, and they get 4 or 5 more miles an hour out of a stock engine.
Wow.
There's nobody at the Nats flying faster than Ron Colombo and Mike Evans with Nelsons. There isn't. There's nobody that has faster motors than them, period. Hands down.
Wow.
Hey, Mike, I have a little something? Naomi and I have something to contribute to the Sam Lonke Training School.
Oh, what's that, Len?
We're going to put together a clown racer for him for Brodaks.
Oh, you're kidding me, man.
Oh, I'm serious. We'll have it ready there and ready to go. You just have to tell me what motor you got for it, and I'll drill it out for it.
What does he need?
An LA 15 or a Brodak 15, either one.
Okay. All right.
Forget the Brodak 15.
What's that?
Forget the Brodak 15. Those things are slow.
Okay. Well, get an LA 15 if you can get your hands on one.
Actually, we have one. I have one 15.
Okay.
It's on his junior ringmaster.
Okay, that'll work.
and I'm not sure if it's got a backplate needle valve or a Venturi needle valve on it. But whatever we need, I'll take the motor off and we'll do whatever we need to make it
Okay.
work.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, we can supply a motor, no
All
problem.
right. Perfect.
So what day is Clown? Do you know?
Tuesday, I believe.
Yeah, we got nothing else going on. We'll do that.
So the clown in the afternoon on Tuesday.
We'll do it. Man, Len, that's awesome. Thank you.
All right, we'll have it ready to go.
If I could drag his ass away from BattleBots tournament right now on.
We'll get it one night. We'll talk to him one night when he's out here because you know what? I have to ask him what color he wants it anyway. So it's all good.
Oh, make it hot pink with red hearts on it, man.
Shit, no, don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Make it hot pink with a red heart.
I'm not doing it.
As his dad, I'm giving you full permission, man, to make it as embarrassing as possible, man.
You're awful.
Hot
You're
pink
just
with
freaking
red
awful.
maple leaves.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, there you go. Current maple leaves, man. Yeah.
You kind of have to go there, man.
Oh man. Well, we might be able to do that. It's a gift from Canada.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Len, that's really sweet of you guys, man.
We'll have it ready for him.
It'll give him another event to bang around in.
Yeah,
And, you know, he's flown mouse quite a few times, so I don't think doing 3-up, you know, with 15 size.
No, it'll be fine. It'll be good.
It's not going to be a stretch for him.
Yeah, him and Naomi can fly a couple of practice rounds by themselves the day before or something. We'll have fun.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. That's great.
All right. Sounds good.
Let me interrupt if I can. Let me see here. Where did I leave off at? Mark Lumen, he said probably 15, 20 minutes ago, he said, on at least one of Wendy's tapes, you will see a very famous prop maker who we all know very well. Anybody have an idea who that is? I don't know who he's
Trying.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, Tryon. Okay, yes. Yeah, but in the videos, he goes by the name Dorian. So that's kind of what threw me off for a minute.
That's actually Tryon's first name is Dorian.
Second name.
What? Well, why are...
That's my middle name.
What?
Hey, on Windy videos, he looks younger too.
Okay.
A little bit. Yeah.
25 years old.
Much cuter too.
I don't know.
Well, there's more for me to read, you guys. So I have a question, I think, here by the King. He says, will that Uniflow tank work on a profile Banshee? I have
definitely.
one I'm going to start building.
Yes.
Well, absolutely, that'll work on the Banshee. Absolutely. And then, you have anything else to add, you guys, to that?
Did we figure out where 10IC guy is? Did he ever say?
From Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right, and then going on, we have Jeff Riley. I think he answered the question. He says, the King, he says, yes, the tank will work fine on the Banshee. John Miller can explain the details of it, but it is pretty straightforward. And I think we got that handled. And then this is a guy that Lynn and Brad, you guys know. He says, this is Bill Boner.
Yeah.
He says, hi, Charles. Love the videos. Thank you very much, Bill. Appreciate it. He says, I have been watching for some time now. I live in the Peterborough, Ontario area.
Peterborough, Ontario.
Peterborough. Thank you,
Yeah.
man. I appreciate that. Area east of Toronto. I am a member of the same club in Toronto as Lenny and Brad. Hi, guys.
Guys.
So Brad's saying, Bill's saying hi to you, Brad, and Lynn Burrell. And I'm all caught up now with the chat.
I like Brad's co-pilot there.
Yeah.
Looks like you got your co-pilot too, John.
Yeah, he claimed his spot. He's going to get rousted in a few minutes, though.
Yeah, once that pizza comes out of the hangar, the dog's going to chase the cat.
Oh, the dog will chase the cat out of the room. The dog is turned into a pizza hound.
And I want to thank everybody for helping the show. We're at 22 concurrent viewers and we have 21 likes. So I believe we're going to eclipse that mark. So if you haven't, it doesn't cost you anything. Just hit the like button, and it just helps the analytics. So that's the only thing I'm asking is to help. And if you're watching this as a replay, please hit the like button. That helps. It doesn't cost you a thing. Now the super chats do cost, the memberships do cost, so please consider supporting the show as well. Then the King says, I have a 2-ounce tank for that I could use. I think 2 ounces, depending upon your motor, might be a little bit too small for a
Banshee. Yeah.
Banshee.
Yeah,
Want a 4
Or
ounce,
at least 4.
you probably
Yeah.
want at least a 4.
And then Jeff Riley asks, what engine are you using? Now in a Banshee, I would imagine you'd want at least a 35.
It was designed for the Fox 35 with that long nose,
Yeah.
but it works better if you move the wing forward about 1.5 inches.
I believe it. That thing has such a long nose.
Now, speaking of doing that, how would somebody best move that wing cutout ahead?
What you do, I explained this some years ago. What you do is you set your profile fuselage blank on top of a piece of paper. Take a sharp pencil and you get your outline of your cutout for the wing, and then you save that, because what you're going to do is you're going to lay that over, and you're going to trace it onto a piece of balsa, 1/2 inch thick balsa, and you're going to glue that inside the fuselage. So now the blank is completely
Solid.
cut,
Exactly.
solid. Now you take that cutout, that drawing you made again, and you line it up on the line, the incidence, so that it's 0, to the rest of the airplane. Unless you're like me, you put a little down thrust in the front, but you don't have to do that. But then you move that forward 1.5 inches, and you draw around that. You take it over to your jigsaw and you cut it out. Now you got the cutout, wings move
You
forward.
make a new cutout, and the old one's already been glued into the old hole.
Yep.
The original hole is filled in then.
Exactly.
So all you're basically doing is moving the cutout forward 1.5 inches.
Exactly.
Thank you, gentlemen. Just in case someone was curious how to do that, I appreciate that.
I think they'd find that the Banshee would fly a heck of a lot better that way, especially if you have something heavier than a Fox 35.
Right.
See, a
You
Fox
might wanna-
35 was pretty light, but most modern motors are heavier, and so therefore, when you put it on the end of that long nose, it doesn't work so good.
And you might want to consider, when you do that, of adding 1 inch to 1.5 inches onto each side of the stab and elevator. Make them a little bit longer.
Yep.
Give me a box stock twister over a box stock Banshee
Any day. I agree. Yeah, for sure.
Well, the ones with the wings move forward and the bigger stab and elevator don't fly bad at all.
Well, no, they don't. I'm just saying, if you built both models stock,
Yes,
give me a twister over a Banshee
I
any
will
day.
agree with you.
And a box stock twister flies fine out of the box, as long as you put a Fox 35 in the nose of it. Again, if you put a heavy motor in the front of it, like an Enya or something like that, it's going to fly nose heavy and it's going to fly like a brick.
Yeah, you're right, Lynn.
Now, there was a fella in Wisconsin, or somewhere in the upper Midwest there. He flew a box stock twister from beginner up into not advanced, expert.
For sure. No reason you shouldn't be able
but
to.
he had an OS 40 FP on his.
Whoa.
Yeah, twister with a 40 FP is a great combination.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, 40 FP on APC 11.5 and 5% nitro, you can't go wrong with that.
No, it'll fly like you won't believe.
I flew one like that. I was very impressed with it. That's why I built one after that.
Yeah. I gotta go rescue the Red Baron.
Okay.
All right. You need a lot of tail weight?
No, he's talking about his pizza, Len, in the oven. You don't want to
No,
burn his pizza.
No, I'm talking about Trian's twister with the FP40. I'm asking if he needed to put a lot of tail weight in it.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
I don't know what an FP40 weighs.
I can tell you right now. Hang on.
All right. Thank you, Lynn.
Hey, Charles,
Yeah.
I would just, if Al Ferraro is out there watching in YouTube land, I want to thank you for sending this Yavenko fast with English standard thread hardware and not metric stuff. Thank you so much.
Oh,
I hate dealing with that metric crap, man.
yeah. Same here. But yeah,
Metric
I have
is not crap,
like
man.
4 engines from the Ukraine, so I've kind of grown to accept it. Let me see here. There's a question on here,
It's empty.
and this is from Patrick 10EC.
Okay.
Now he says, "Does anyone get into electric power plants?"
Hey,
Oh, God.
And then
Okay.
how does that compare to the experience of nitro motor?
What's a nitro motor?
Look,
I know what
easy
a
to
glow
set
motor
up.
is.
They are the easiest to set up by far. Consistent, bulletproof every single time, the same run. And it just a baby can set it up. That's all I have to say about that.
Hey, Tryon, I'm not trying, but Len, you want to show your motor again, Len?
yeah, FP40 is 8.4 ounces.
Okay.
And Fox
The
is
Fox 35 is
6.5.
6.3.
Wow, that's a big difference.
That's the difference. That's not with it. We're not adding mufflers. We're just
Mufflers, I see that. Yeah.
Just the basic
Muffler.
motor.
Wow.
8.4 and
Fox muffler's
6.3.
probably heavy.
There's
Mike Millard,
basically a 2-ounce difference.
Yeah.
That's a lot on the end of the nose of a Banshee.
Yeah, it's not that
Or
big
a
of a
twister.
plane.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's almost a deal breaker. Mike Millard, what was you saying? Because your words were same time that Lynn was talking.
I didn't have any idea that there was that much difference. I knew that Fox was light, but I didn't know that much lighter. That's one advantage with that Johnson S. That thing only weighs like a little under 7. The 33 stunt motor.
Yeah.
Nice and
Oh,
light.
your
It
Johnson
makes a lot
actually
more
have?
power than the Fox does.
Does your Johnson, Mike, actually have the number 33 on it, or not?
No, it has just an S on the side of the crankcase.
Okay. Because I had a Johnson S before, and I didn't know what number, what size it was.
Yeah,
I
what was that?
only knew of 35, so I assumed, which I was probably mistaken, that it was a 35.
That was that motor the years ago that Aldrich talked about after the 58 Nats when he didn't even get to fly because he couldn't get a good run. And how High Johnson made him a one-off, and then he started producing them, and that was the S.
All right, cool, very good.
Which was a 35 sleeve and piston with a 29 stroke or 29 crank.
Very nice. Let me say hi to Phil. Phil, thank you for coming in. Appreciate it.
Hey, good to see everybody.
Hey,
How you
Phil.
doing, Phil?
Hey, doing great.
Good.
Hello there. I see
Good
the
to see you,
profile's
Phil.
looking good.
Yeah, it's just about there. It's almost ready for paint. Or dope anyway, clear coats anyway, it's ready for.
You build a lot faster than I do. A lot faster.
Well, I spend most of my day building, so that's why.
Oh, okay.
I don't do much else anymore right now except build. Except for days when I go to work.
I hope I get to that point here shortly. I thought I was supposed to catch up with some people this past weekend. And it looks like I'm supposed to catch up with them this coming weekend. So, boy, anyway. And Mr. Combat is working on Combat Kit, a new airplane, I take it. Because that looks like a Nelson 36.
It does. We're going to see if Sam's got, well, I don't want to say it on the live part of it, but if he's got the cojones to handle one this year. Let's just
I
say it.
hear you. I hear you. I've never flown one, but I've heard those things scream, and you might want to give him a weight belt or something.
No, you see, you guys all keep saying that. Yeah, he's skinny, but he's bulking up, man. I mean, he's going through the change because he talks like Scooby Doo all the time now.
I remember that.
His voice is doing this. He's got the pit air going. He hadn't let me see him in the shower for over a year, because he's embarrassed or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's starting to get he'll be shaving, I think, by the end of the year. So I think he's the testosterone is moving in, and he's, I think he's going to be ready this year. So
very good.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll be ready. Hey, I have some more chat in the chat box. This has been a pretty good show. I appreciate all the chat, and I appreciate everybody in the show coming in. So the next one was, I don't think we really addressed the electric comparison very well. I know Tryon just commented on it that it was easy. A baby can do it, and
It's true.
but they're both good. They're both good systems. There are some people that have tried electric and they never looked back to glow ever again. So that's, but I love glow. I love electric. And there's some people that just love glow exclusively. And there's some people that love electric exclusively. It's just different,
Whatever you like, man.
whatever you like. Exactly. They're both very good. If there's a new person, I would probably encourage a new person realistically to go to glow. I mean, to go to electric, pardon me. If
You had it right the first time.
To electric.
Lenny's right.
if you are new. Now I happen to like flipping props, working on engines and all that kind of stuff, but a new person might not have that aptitude. So the electric is just basically once it's set up.
There's that, Charles, but it also requires two different sets of support equipment, deciding on which way you're going to go.
Yeah.
You're going to batteries, a battery charger, and you're going to have to figure all that out versus fuel and syringes and an igniter. So
having to figure all that out. Exactly.
Right. Yeah. Each one you got to kind of do your own thing.
Unless you want to get really goofy with IC and go diesel, then you don't need an igniter.
No one's going to do that.
I'd recommend that either way you go, make sure you have an expert in either case. If you have an expert that's glow around you, I would go glow. If you have an expert that's an electric, I would go that way because it does require some help in either way. Save you a lot of time. You be able to compress time frames, having an expert or someone who's really good and very knowledgeable to help you navigate either one of those power plants. Let me continue on. And then Jeff Riley said the Banshee was built for a Fox 35.
Yes, it was.
With a 3.5 ounce to 4 ounce tank. The Fox, they fly pretty good and about 4.5 to 5 minutes.
Got it.
And then the King says he has a Fox 35. So that's great response. And then Jeff Riley said, put that on the Banshee and set the spinner as close to the nose as possible. And then the King said, okay. And the King asked what prop size for it. And then Jeff Riley says 10.5 or 10.6. And perfect says, okay. And then the King says, I met Nelson at the 1992 Nats in Springfield, Massachusetts. So that's pretty cool. And then Patrick 10EC, he says, could you wear the battery and allow? Could you wear the? I'm not sure if I understand this question, but as could you wear the battery and allow the plane to fly with power leads?
No.
No.
Too much line loss.
All right. Thank you. And then the King asks, how about the neighbors?
What about them?
Yeah. I don't know. How close are your neighbors? That makes the difference. If you're like Mike Lonke, having neighbors that are pretty far away, that's no biggie. And then Jeff Riley says, well, the neighbors are just going to have to learn to tolerate it, but the fox really isn't very loud.
Yeah, it is.
It's loud, but it's no
It's
worse
loud.
than a stinking weed eater.
It's
No,
not
but-
as bad as an FUD or a half A, high performance half A. Those things are ears pinching.
Well, when you guys hear
Yeah.
my Fox 35 and my Nobler Brodak, you tell me it isn't loud. Oh, man. No muffler. It's loud. Ask Brad. He'll tell you he's almost deaf from it.
Huh?
I said, yeah. See? What?
Yeah, Brad is quick.
Charles,
think-
did you see Howard has his hand up?
No, thank you very much. Yeah, you know, I appreciate you guys' help. Thank you so much. So what's going on, Howard?
Oh, I was going to say, it might depend on whether you have a notion to fly in competition. If you have a notion to fly in stunt competition, then you can do either electric or internal combustion. For combat, for example, and other things, they require internal combustion. And as for finding somebody who's acquainted with either to help, where do you live? And I can probably come up with somebody.
The King, where do you, oh, I don't know where the King lives. The King, where do you live? That'll help. Maybe we even can direct you to someone who can help you. And by the way, you know, we're all trying to help everybody. So I mean, even when I was venturing in electric, I got unbelievable amount of support and help from these guys. And I will get back into it once I make a modification to my plane. Actually, not modification, put it back. Just never mind.
But Charles,
Yeah.
Charles, you did not modify the electric system, did you?
No, I'm talking about the airframes, not.
Yeah, but the electric part of it was just simple. You
Oh, it
bolt it
was,
together, you
absolutely.
pick up whatever people tells you, you set it up, and then it's good, right?
Right. Yeah, I just gotta fix my
That's the
airframe.
simple part. And from that point on, you don't have to worry about it again.
Yeah. Well, the one challenge with electric, you know, unlike glow, I mean, you can hear that the glow might be flooded, or there's some sound audible cues of what's going on. But with electric, you know, if it's not working, if it doesn't work, sometimes you're like trying to figure out what's going on because, you know, it doesn't make any sound when it's not working. So that can be kind of tough.
But the thing is, like, it always works.
No, it
Unless
doesn't.
you have a bad bearing or something like that.
Yeah, you know, once you get it going, it always works. I mean,
That's
I
right.
went out to the field one time, and I was out there for 2 hours and did not get an engine run. So
There you go.
eventually-
See,
I
it
eventually
doesn't
figured
always
out-
work.
I had to eventually to figure out I had to reprogram.
It always works for people who know how to do it. I get it.
Yeah, I mean, once I figured it out, I mean, every single time it was just
That's right.
you know, put the
Exactly.
battery in, push the button, go out to the center of the handle, wait 20 seconds, and
So I guess a baby couldn't do it, could he? No.
Yeah.
Okay. Just saying.
right. And
It's,
And by
it's
the
a
way-
whole lot simpler than I see, man. I tell you that, you know, it's a whole lot simpler. When you
Not
go
for
IC,
me.
you have to deal with altitude, which altitude you fly.
Yeah, but not
change
for
the
me.
nitro, change the prop diameter, pitch, depending
Okay.
on where you're going. With
Yeah,
electric,
it's easier for you, but it's not easier for me. It's easier for me to run nitro.
anyways, electric and glow, you know, it's just like choose your medicine. They're both good systems. I mean, we have
Yeah,
people
they
at
are.
in the
They are
in the
good
top
systems.
echelon of the sport doing both. I know predominantly electric is definitely, you know, there's a lot of people at the top flying electric, but we still have some individuals that are flying glow that are very, very competitive, like Dave Fitzgerald, for example,
Yeah.
and Brett Buck and other
Joe Gilbert,
and Joe Gilbert. Yeah, Joe Gilbert.
Richard Oliver.
Richard Oliver. Yeah, there's a bunch of competitive glow guys out there. So
To name
There
a
will-
number of people who are going electric.
say it again, Howard. I didn't quite catch it.
To name a number of people who are going electric.
I understand. I definitely think there's a future there, but for those gearheads, I think they might be able to contend for a
See,
while
the
longer.
thing is,
But
if you
Charles-
drive, here's the deal. If you drive all the the glow guys away and say, well, you know what, you're really not welcome here. You probably shouldn't be doing that because you're not competitive. Maybe we won't be there and you'll have less competitors.
That's it.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Nobody's saying that.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm
Nobody's
getting.
saying
That's
that.
what
I
I'm
mean,
getting
whatever
all
you
the
guys
time,
like.
Tryon. You keep telling everybody how much so much better all the time. Well, okay, I got it. I heard it the first time 6 months, a year ago. I got it. But you don't have to keep driving it into us that it's so much better. We got it. That's it. Done. It's better.
Yeah, they're both.
Just let us do our thing and enjoy it.
They're both very good. I'm John also does both, and John Miller and I both like our stalkers. And you know, I have consistent engine runs now. I mean, the one incident I had for the only time in my career at Wood and Arrows, and that was just because my stalker wasn't. I don't think it was broken in. But other than that, I've had repeatable engine runs and all that kind of stuff. So they're both good. You know, even Bob Hunt has said, you know, he's kind of even-handed about that. You know, he says, you know, they're both good ways of doing it. He doesn't try to say this is the only way to do it. They're both good ways of doing it. And let me continue on, but I did like this reality aspect. It was kind of cool to watch this arguing, going back and forth. And I'm glad that we can
That's
argue.
all good fun.
Yeah, we can argue amicable.
Yeah,
I was trying to
exactly.
explain to people when I call people to try to get them to come in this show, and I explain to them that this is nothing like the forum, because there's some people that have keyboard bravery. And they will say anything on their keyboard, but they would never say that to that person's face. So here we're very amicable. We have disagreements, but it's all good. So don't be scared to come in here. We're amicable in here. And let me continue on with the chat. The King, he's from Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Oh,
And
okay.
he said,
Oh, gosh, there's plenty of
with
people in
engines,
here.
I'm an RC flyer. So so you have Bob Hunt, you have Brendan, who's on our show regularly. And I'm sure there's a lot of people in PA, not to mention Brodak is there. And the Brodak fly-in is going to happen this year. So if you go to the Brodak fly-in, the King, I think that would be a move I would make. If you're looking at getting back into this, go to Brodak. You probably could pick up some planes, some advice. You definitely will make some new friends. I met some people for the very first time, like Joe Gilbert and his wife Colleen, and a bunch of people at Brodak's. I met Sparky. I mean, maybe if it wasn't for meeting Sparky, I might not even be the host, but it's because I met Sparky at Brodak's. Anyways, Jeff Riley went on to say that for the Banshee, set the box at a breaking 2-4 cycle, then run it a nice 2 to 4 break, and not fly too fast. And now we're all caught up.
Bill had his hand up.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate that. Phil, go ahead.
I was just going to say, you know, years ago we had arguments about which way, what was better, the tune pipe or the muffler. And I mean, that went for 2 years. That was, I mean, people were about ready to beat each other over the head over it. But, you know, I went to Brodak one year and Wendy showed up on a pipe. Bob Hunt showed up on a muffler, and Wendy grabbed the microphone and brought that to everybody's attention. There's room for everybody, 2-stroke, 4-stroke, tune pipe, electric, it don't matter. What works for one person don't necessarily work for another. If you get with someone who's a darn expert and you work with them and you think that they're going to get you going, what they got works for them. It may still not be your cup of tea. Another thing is you get out there working with a system and you just don't like it. I mean, it's just not your thing. There's several others. There's 4 strokes. There's 2 strokes. You know, a few years back, everybody said that the Worlds is going to be completely dominated by the new electric systems that year. This has been 4 or 5 years ago. Well, the guy that won it was flying a Super Tiger 60, and it just blew everybody's mind. The antique Super Tiger 60 won the Worlds. Yeah, the guy can fly. don't count on the system to be it. It's like I went to a contest and a guy wanted to buy my airplane, one of my airplanes. I had just flown a pattern with it and it flew real well, and he wanted to buy my airplane. So he showed me too much cash, and I said, sure. So I sold it. Well, he went over and he was with his buddies, and they came up with a hand. I'll sell you a plane. I will not sell you a set of lines, period. I don't sell lines. I don't like selling handles, but I do not sell lines. Anyway, he went over with his buddies, and they put a set of lines and a handle on that thing. He got over there and got to flying it. He took off and flew it, and it was very evident to everybody on the field he had never had his hand on a handle before, and he stuffed it. He stuffed it, and then he came over to me. He wanted his money back. I said, what's wrong with the airplane? I just won with it. And he said, well, it didn't fly at all for me. It's not the airplane. You've got the airplane has to be capable of doing a pattern. You still have to do it. And you don't think that you're just going to go out there and buy a magic system and go out and fly perfect patterns. It don't work like that. Tom Looper used to tell me there's perfection in the bottom of a gallon of fuel, but we don't know which one. So we keep having to buy them and burn them and try to find the one perfection's in the bottom. Well, now it's also in a battery pack, but we still don't know which one. So we keep practicing trying to find that sucker and make it work. I still run both. I run, if you go in my basement, you'll find Fox 35s, McCoy Redheads, 2 strokes, 4 strokes, tune pipes, electrics, a little bit of everything. And I like it all. If you fly enough, you will too. You just get to where you love the sound of the darn things and you love the way they fly and whatever works. So don't argue about what's better, this one or that one, because what's better for me might not be better for you. Just fly and enjoy it. There's room for everybody. Just have fun with it.
True enough, Phil.
Absolutely.
Good line.
Good.
Excellent.
Good.
Excellent.
Combat's better than stunt.
Some people just gotta cause trouble.
Yeah. So there's all kinds of camps in our hobby. We have people who don't like solids and who like braided, and I mean, as far as lead outs, you know, they only use solid lead outs. Don't want anything to do with braided lead outs. There's all kinds of camps in our hobby. It's just if you get on the wrong end, you're gonna get a lot of hot air.
Yeah.
About what they happen to like until you don't do the other one. And that's all over our hobby. And there's a lot of things they could bring up to cause disagreements. And let me continue on with the chat, and I appreciate you guys hanging out. I have 8:47, so we'll be ending this live stream in about 13 minutes.
Wait till the live stream. Okay.
Let me see here. So the King said, I want to go to Brodak.
When the stream.
Very good choice. If you go to the Brodak manufacturing website, the King, you'll see the information there about the dates and the schedule for the Brodaks. I would highly recommend going. If I could go, I would go. I just can't, but it was one of the funnest times in my life in this hobby with that Brodaks. One
of the most fun contests of the year.
Yeah, please, you should definitely go, especially when you're in Pennsylvania. My goodness. I'm in California, Escondido, California, so it's a little bit harder for me to get there. And then Jeff Riley said, Jeff Riley said he wants to go to Brodaks. So maybe you guys might see Jeff Riley there at Carmichael,
Pennsylvania.
And then the King says, I fly control line. I have a hot rock handle. And the hot rock handle is really good for combat. I'm not sure if it's great for stunt.
We got guys that still fly it.
Yeah. And then like when the group of guys that I hang around with, one of the experts, when I came out with my Easy Just, he told me don't even use it. So there's all kinds of camps in our hobby.
Yeah.
And then Jeff Riley says that'll work. And then I think that's referring to the hot rock. And then the King says glow fuel is so expensive. Yeah, compared to at the pump, $5 a gallon. Yeah, you can spend $30 a gallon for glow fuel. Yeah, it is expensive, but you know, a gallon for me gives me 20 flights for the amount of fun and and the feeling of flying. It's I mean, what am I going to do? I'm not going to fly because of the price of it. No, I'm going to fly. So yeah, it's this part, but you know, this hobby is less expensive than a lot of other hobbies. So
Darn right. Try golfing.
Yeah,
and then
try golf
Jeff,
one time.
yeah, golfing or even fishing. People spend and how about shooting?
Oh yeah.
People spend
Yeah.
exorbitant amount of money doing that. Jeff Rowley has also said a good set of 58 to 60 foot lines at 015. That's the 015 thousandths thickness is way to go. Now the future keeps marching on, and Jeff Rowley's probably thinking about stainless steel. But now, as of January 1st, you can use the spectral line, so it's even smaller diameter and stronger, and they don't get all kinked up. So that's something else you might want to consider. The king is the spectral lines, and we've had talks. Look at our previous videos. You can learn about that, and there's a thread on there.
Hey, we could argue about that if we want.
We can argue about that too. Exactly.
But
and
we won't.
There's a thread on there with Dennis Adamison on Stunthangar Forum, the king. I'm talking to you, explaining the spectral lines. And Lynn, we have the Lenny loop that you might want to consider. So yeah, so we have that going. And then the king says, "I love the smell of burnt castor oil in the morning." Absolutely. Absolutely. Now I've gotten used to the smell of clots too. I like clot synthetic, but was you trying to chime in, Howard?
Yeah. Scranton is about 60 miles from Bob Hunt's house. Bob Hunt lives in Stockertown, which is by Nazareth. So get in touch with Bob Hunt. You can find him on the forum. If you email me, I can send you his phone number, and he'd be glad to talk to you. And he probably knows somebody in Scranton.
Yeah.
He's a former national champion, world champion, and
you couldn't. And Bob Hunt's a really nice guy. He's a gentleman of the sport. Very helpful. He feels inclination to really help people because he was helped so much that he wants to give back to the hobby. So very, very good guy. And then the king says, Jeff Riley says, "You will love the Fox. Run pure castor, makes that 25% and 5 to 10% nitro, and you'll get that castor." So I'm just adding that last part. But yeah, if you love the smell of castor, that is what I remember as a kid, the Fox 35 with the castor smell. And then
McCoy 35.
Either
we
one.
Had McCoys.
What was that,
we
John?
had McCoys. Foxes were $1 more. We bought the McCoys.
And then lastly, the king says, "Gas for my YS 61 is $70 a gallon."
Whoa.
Holy cat.
Wow. I'd start getting the
Mike, come on, Mike Millard. Oh, that's Mike Lonke.
What's he doing?
Yeah, he had his sign here. Let me I'm not going to repeat. I'll just show it. This is not my me. I make it big. Hang on. Just give me a second.
Oh,
come on.
They have to. That's how they get their fuel.
7 degrees in the nose.
I ain't go.
Now, those any views or comments does not represent the host or the show or Stunthangar.
now back to our regular
Or necessarily the truth.
Yeah, really.
Not necessarily the truth.
I'll tell you what, the Fox, the one golden thing of a Fox, if you get around 20 old modelers, you probably can find enough parts to build one.
Yep.
Because everybody's got a box somewhere of old Fox parts.
Yep.
And it's amazing.
Or a box of old foxes.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's old foxes for old farts. I mean, for anyway. But you get a bunch of old flyers together, you just about guaranteed to have enough parts to build an old fox and put one together and have something put in the air. They made them for so long, and there were so many 100,000 of them made. There are plenty of parts. Now, I'd still like to get my hands on some of those plugs that they were talking about that stops the dreaded fox burp, but I've got the dimensions now, so I'm gonna try to carve one first day I get a chance. But I tell you what, if you want to know an old motor to start with, Fox is hard to beat because you can get them for little or nothing. $10 you can buy a good one most places. Now there's some people on eBay that think they're worth
They're
$150.
ridiculous. Yeah, they're ridiculous.
That is utterly ridiculous. But you come to Brodak and you'll probably find enough people with enough
On a
parts.
table, you'll get one for 15, 20 bucks ready to
Yeah,
go.
easy, ready to go. Good one. I picked up one a few years back. Had a Hemi head, stuffer back plate, ABC sleeve and piston,
Good to
and
go.
I think it's got the wooden plug in it. I think I gave $25 for it.
Oh, wow. That's a good.
Yeah, I got
price.
a good deal on that one, and it runs. Yes, I still run it. It's on my boxcar chief. But it's just one of them things. Just get out there and fly and enjoy yourself. Don't worry about having the newest, highest tech stuff. Just go have fun. Like one of the guys was saying, and we got one too. We got a guy that flies an old Twister with a Fox 35.
He's having the best time on the field.
Yeah, everybody wants to laugh. Well, my gosh, he just got an old Fox. He just got an old Twister. Yeah, well, go fly him sometime. He'll probably dust your britches.
Yep.
He can fly that Fox and he can fly that Twister. So
There was a reason through the 50s into the early 60s that virtually all the stunt winners were flying Foxes. They're stone reliable. They're not powerful, but they're reliable.
they are reliable.
I'm going to share something regarding the Fox burp. Jeff Riley gave this to me or sent this to me almost a year ago. So I don't know if you guys have seen this. Can you guys see it?
Yeah, that's the plug.
Yeah, the stick.
Yeah. Wish I could.
So thank you,
screenshot.
Jeff
Hang on.
Riley. I know you
Leave
sent
it
that
up there
to me.
just a second. Leave it up there just a second. I'm gonna
sure
try to take a screenshot of it. Do. Okay, I got two shots. I'll be able to get it from that. I'm gonna carve one this week and see if I can get one running. Thank you.
Oh, you're most welcome.
That thing is it really works. Luke's got one in his motor, one of his motors, and it changed it from being utterly scary how hard it burped to being utterly reliable. So
should I take it down? You guys
yeah, go ahead and take it down. I got it. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Vanderker. How about that?
How about you, Gary? You seen it long enough?
Anybody else think it's a shame that we have to get the cure for an American motor from somebody that's not from here?
Oh well. Yes.
Hey, all I say is he's a sharp guy and he can draw, because I can understand that.
Yeah.
So I
think these fingers are starting to hurt. I think.
Okay. Hey, well, thanks for coming. We're about 3 minutes away from going to the dark side and going into the after party.
Oh no.
Take care of that hand, Michael.
Yeah.
Talk to you tomorrow, Lenny.
All right, Brad. Give me a call.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Bye.
What did he do? Put his fingers in the propeller?
Yes, he did.
Oh Lord.
Well, he didn't put them in. Apparently the engine jumped or something.
Oh boy.
The test stand he had it on rocked forward when he was close to it. What, Lenny, you haven't told Brad the best part is the after party, like to stick around?
I don't know if he got that. I think he's never been to an after party, so he didn't. I don't think he realized it was going to keep going, and he's gone.
Yeah, you gotta send him a message.
I'll fill him in.
Yeah,
I will fill him in tomorrow when I see him.
There you go.
Well,
I really
guys,
like the looks of that plane. That's sharp.
We have getting to the end of the show. Thank you so much, guys, for coming in. You guys here that are inside this gallery here, I really appreciate you coming in. You guys have been coming in for a long time, and I really appreciate it. And in the chat, we had lots of feedback going back and forth in the chat box. So just very grateful for the show. Thank you very much for coming in. And we'll be back Friday. And don't forget to subscribe, share, comments, help the show, the channel grow, and then join the YouTube channel memberships. And we will see you back Friday. So go out there, have some fun, build something, come back and share it with us. And we will